don't know very many great athletes or great performers or great achievers that haven't changed, that don't understand that the importance of not having an ego, of being able to recognize your weaknesses and push through those. I think one of the things that makes New England such a consistent franchise is they go into the season with who they hope to be, and then they realize who they need to be, and they change, and that's how they're able to compete every single year. And we all know the definition of insanity. It's doing the same thing over and over again. Look, if you want to go down the first series of a preseason game and score a touchdown and then celebrate like you won the Super Bowl, yeah, that's great. Maybe that's the energy you need, but don't be surprised when people respond to that and want to shut that stuff down. I think change is an important part of maturity and self-awareness.
Yeah, it's evolution. That's human nature. So I agree with you there. And I agree with you as well in terms of being that person, that symbol that gives you belief. Personally, looking at the way he's handling things and all of the scrutiny that is on him, he's a polarizing figure. So people are looking at him beyond what the game represents. And I think personally, looking at his response, I want to cuss y'all out. I really want to tell y'all how I feel. But since I'm not going to do that because that could cost me here, and there, I'm just really going to keep it to, you know what, I'm not going to change. So it's a generalized statement. I think it's a tongue-in-cheek statement. I don't think for 2 seconds Baker really buys into the fact that I'm not going to change. I think he does subscribe to the fact that he needs to evolve as he grows within the league. He just got married. That says change. Your actions say change. So you can say what your words are. And I look at it as just words. I think he is a guy who understands that he needs to flow like the water trying to make it down the hill.
Well, he is the quarterback. He does set a tone for that team. They did just add Odell Beckham Jr., a guy who's been a great productive player, but needs to make some changes, I think, to be a more mature player that contributes to a winning environment. And Baker could help set that tone by acknowledging that, you know what, even me, Baker Mayfield, and I've had success. I won a Heisman Trophy. I walked on 2 places. But I'm not perfect. And so when I hear people say, I'm not going to change, I'm never going to change, it's like, well, I'm perfect. And I just haven't met that person yet that is perfect. We're all in need of change. And so I wish that he would say it a little different and believe a little different. And I know he's had a tremendous amount of success. And success is the greatest intoxicant. And you throw on money and fame on top of that, and I don't blame him for going, man, why would I change? Well, I've lived 52 years. You got to.
Well, I mean, using your example in Belichick, who really leads that situation and program, he's not changing. He's consistent in his messaging. He's consistent in his ways. He's consistent in his approach. And that stability is what you start to buy into it. Now, it's successful, so why would he change it? And then you look at Baker, he's like, this is successful as well. The only difference is likability in the way I'm doing it. Maybe it strikes you different. It's polarizing. So therefore, you don't see it. But this isn't a guy who loses himself because he celebrates. This is a guy who's like, he won the Heisman. He became the #1 overall pick. He's brought juice to this franchise. No, he hasn't won a Super Bowl yet. He's going into his 2nd year. But if we're going to now start to demerit him by the way he goes about his process, I don't see where we really can pull him apart yet.
Well, go ahead.
Just to react to the Belichick comment, Bill Belichick coached the 34 defense since 1985. And then after they lost the 2nd Super Bowl to the Giants, he was willing to switch to a 4-3. To me, if that's not the epitome of willingness to change something that you've done for years and years and dramatically shift a philosophy, but he knew that was the best thing for the organization and the team at the time. I see Baker Mayfield as a guy who's had tremendous success. Things have gone well for him, and he's so sensitive to criticism now. What's it going to be like when it gets tough? What's it going to be like when they hit those 2 or 3 game losing streaks, when the criticism starts to mount up? You better change because it doesn't go well all the time for everybody.
I'm going to say the other thing, and we're going to pass on Darnell's question. I'm going to say the other thing that about Belichick, the difference between Belichick and Baker Mayfield is Belichick may probably be the most arrogant person on the planet privately. Publicly, this dude bathes himself in humility. His tone of voice, he never gets loud. Everything about him publicly, and then maybe it's a little smug, some of his answers, But I see a guy that's really pretty humble about his approach, and I see a guy in Baker Mayfield that seems a bit over the top and arrogant.
And let me ask you, how many points does the public score on any given Sunday?
Excuse me?
Zero.
The public.
Yeah. How are we helping?
No.
We're not helping. So for that's part of shtick. I want you guys to think X, and I'm going to do Y. He can't coach that same way that he gives his public messaging because that's too short. That's no content. And he does just the opposite in closed doors. He has an actual game plan, and they dive into details. He never dives into the details with us as the public. So for Baker Mayfield to say, I'm going to be transparent or closer to who I am in script publicly and privately, I don't think we should go out there and take a shot at it.
You know, I think it's valuable to look at the Baker Mayfield aspect from this perspective as well. You mentioned Odell Beckham. He doesn't want Odell to change. So I don't think he wants to put out there the message of, Odell, I'm changing, so I think you should change. I really believe that they look at who they are, what identity they're trying to build, and they buy into it. I think Jarvis is a very mature person. I think that Odell is a very mature person from what I gather from them. I don't know Baker very well, but if their work ethic matches what they're going to bring to the field, then I don't think that being colorful personalities, I mean, I think back to the Rams team with Torrey and all those guys and Oz Hakeem and how much fun they had and how they joked around and did a lot of things. This is just that 2.0, really, in my opinion.
Thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. And be sure to check out more of the best clips from Speak For Yourself or go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.